Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And this is going to be the next part of our food app series. So, in the last couple of videos, we have been working on our restaurant side, and today we are gonna start working on our rider app. So, in this video, we will set up our rider app to allow the riders to log into the app. I won't waste your time much, and so let's just get started. So, the first thing that I'll do over here is that I'll create a new branch for this, and once the branch is created, we'll see what's the condition of our rider app. So basically, to check that, what we need to do is that we need to go to our rider, go to our build variant from the left section, and from over here you can select your rider debug. Once you select that, we'll just run that code. The first issue that we encountered was that Google services file that is missing for a rider app. So that is something that we need to do. Okay, so to fix that, what we'll do is that we'll get over here into our Firebase section, go to Food Hub. Now over here you can see that we have Food Hub Android and Restaurant. So we need to create another app. This is again going to be an Android app, and we need to define a couple of things for this. Okay. So we'll get over here back, and now you can see in the build.gradle file, when we look into our rider app, it is going to be dot rider as a suffix, right? So it it is somehow something like this. So I'll just copy that, create like package name over here like this, and let's name it as rider app register register it. And once it's registers, you can download that JSON file again, and I think the rest is fine. We don't need anything else for that. We are good for this. So now you can see we have this restaurant, Food Hub Android restaurant and rider app that's there, and we need to basically now copy that file that we have just downloaded. So I'm gonna drag that file as usual. Instead, let's just do one more thing first. Let's just go to the package, and as usual, like previously we did for the restaurant, we'll go over here into the rider section, and like you can see in the restaurant, there is like the file is lying right in the root folder. So we'll do the same thing for the rider this time as well, and we'll just drag it over here and paste it inside like this. Okay. Now this is again, the file name is wrong, so you need to make sure that you use a select like a correct name for that. And now hopefully once we do that, this time it will work fine. At least the app would run. We still need to fix a lot of things like navigations and rest of the things, but yeah, let's see what how it goes. Okay, now it's complaining about the Food Hub messaging service, complaining that there is no main activity in it. And when you look into the code overall, you can see that there is again a complete differentiation. We don't have the main activity that we would like to use, so we need to create those files, right? So let's just quickly create those files over here. First I need to create a relevant package for this, and I think we don't need that package. So okay, fine. Let's just I'm just gonna copy that same activity file that I have and paste it over here, but just need to make sure that it's under the UI section. So once you do that, you can see that the main activity is here, and now it should stop complaining. Definitely we need to do a little bit of more fixing for this. So what we have that we can use, okay, I think these drawbles can be used from the common sites. Home view model, I'm not sure if it's available in the main activity, in the main, it's part of the main, so I think this is fine. Home screen, again, this now these things are important because this home screen, the order this to that we want to show to the rider are going to be different. Order details can be same, I think, or maybe slightly different than what we have. So I think we can use that as well. list menu screen. We don't need that menu screen. We don't want to show the add menu items to the rider, instead not image picker. So these things are not required. And from the top we can get rid of these order list and these unnecessary imports, so that we can see that now it is fixed. Now home screen is important. We definitely need the home screen, we definitely need the order screen, and we definitely need the order details screen. I think let's just fix the issues and fix them. Okay, we need to import the main activity. Okay, now this is important again. Now let's see, we need to make sure the file that we place is it at the correct place, right? You can see that the main activity cannot be found, and the reason is that I basically imported it inside the UI section. So you need to make sure to create a, let's create a temporary package for this, so that we can have a separate section. And now over here, let's place that main activity inside that, so that the main activity is that it's at the correct place. Because if you don't place the file correctly, in a, like correct packages, all the codes that is in the common and that's using that specific file will start complaining. Like in our case, the food hub messaging service is the common, and it started complaining, right? Now for this, you can see that we have this home screen, order list screen, and order details screen. This is something that we need. So let's just create those packages, at least for now. Create UI dot home. This will contain the home view model for us, home screen details for us. So I'm going to say home screen, and this is going to be a class. Let's create a composable for that, and then call it home screen. And then this is basically going to contain the nav controller for us, and along with that it will also contain a home view model, which is something we needed, right? And along with the home view model, let's just create another package that is going to be orders. And this is now something as, we'll create one more package inside that, and that is going to be list. Okay, and one more package and call it as details. And now this list order is going to be list. Let's create a one more file for this. Call it orders list screen. And again, as I said, this is going to be composable function order list screen. For order details screen, let's create another file. Call it order details screen. And this is going to be a composable function orders details screen. Now this requires a couple of things, as order id string, and we also need a nav controller for this. So that is something we will be using it over here, and for order list we will be using that over here like this. Now if we go to the main activity, you can see that we now can extend those orders. If I make it orders, it should be, we should be able to import that. Home screen requires a view model as well, so we are going to pass that home view model into that. And order details should also be, we should also be able to get those. Okay, and I think that's pretty much for now. For home screen, maybe we can add some designs so that we can see that specific home screen, or on basically once we user logs in successfully. So let's just add a modifier for that, and say modifier dot fill max size dot background, and call like, just uh, paint it red for now, and run the code now. So basically, what I did right now is that I just created the necessary files that were required to be shown over here. And from there, we'll see what we can do or how we should do. Okay, now you can see the code were like, wish we were able to successfully load the code. And now let's try to log in with something that is not a rider. So this is my email ID for the customer. I've logged in. You can see it failed. Now let's try with the owner one at example.com, which is again, it failed. And now what I'll do is that I'll say I'm doing, and now you can see that we are on the home screen. Definitely the rest of the things might not work as expected. At least for now, we don't have any notification for this user. So yeah, this is the orders list which should not work, and then this should crash because we don't have that menu for this rider app. But I think the rest of the like the basic setup is done now, and now let's just start working on setting up the stuff that's needed, right? So the first thing I think that we need to do is that we need to get rid of our bottom menu section for this because we don't want to show that, and from over here as well, so that we only have these three sections over here. So now the first thing that I'll do over here is that I'll in the home screen, I'll implement some sort of flows where we can look for the available deliveries that are there, that user can or the rider can deliver. So if you go to the backend code, and from the backend code, if you go to somewhere, where are the routes? So if you go to the route section, and inside that you can go to the rider routes. These are a couple of things. First, the one thing is that you can set up a location service where you get your location and you keep on updating the backend, which will basically uh, tell the server relevant thing. Then we have these request, so that you, if you want to accept the request, if you want to get the delivery path. So like say if you want to get a path for that delivery where you want to go, you can get that. And then this is again important, this is the basically the request which I was talking about, is that if you wanna fetch the that like deliveries which are available that you can deliver for that specific radius, or like from based on the user's uh, id, that is something that you can do. So we'll basically set it up and we'll see how it goes. So now, so let's just copy this endpoint and go over here into our food API section, food API, and right beneath that, let's create another get call, call that specific thing as delivery slash available. And now over here we'll do this. Now you don't have this like we don't know what should be the response for that. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna fix that. So for that case, what we are gonna do is that so basically what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna open the postman, and from the postman we'll see if we can get that information, right? So we know that this is a get call. We are gonna get this base url slash deliveries slash available, and now we need to log in as well because this specific endpoint might not work this way. Let me see, where is that login call? Yeah, this is the login call. I'm gonna change that package to rider, and this data should be rider at example.com. We send that request, and now this is the token that I received. And now let's just use that token over here. Go to header, authorization, right, bearer, and space this. So basically this is something that you'll have to do if you want to get the information for your service. And now let's just send it. Now it says that this is a 404. Let's see why. I think I know why, because we have this parent route as slash rider. So we need to make sure that we set that rider as well. And now when you look into that, you'll see that you have three orders with different IDs that you can basically that we can deliver, right? So okay, so now let's just copy this, go to our Android section, and inside the main go to data, and inside that data you can go to the models, and inside that model let's create this Scotland from file, right? And now from there you can say rider deliveries deliveries list response. Or maybe you can just avoid that, say that deliveries list response, which will basically list down the deliveries that are there, and then just generate that file. And once you generate that file, this will create a data class. We don't need that to be data class, so basically what I'll do is that I'll say shift F6 and change it to deliveries. Okay, now once you do that, your response is adjusted. There is this typo, but I think we'll find. And now over here we'll basically change that to the deliveries response. Okay, come on. Okay, now we do that and now we are good. So now the same thing we will be using it in our home screen sections. Okay. Now if you go over here into this main activity, and if you go to our home screen, the view model that we have is basically the one that helps you with our basic, like the base one, right? It's not for this it should we should not use it for our home screen, home view model. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna change that name. So I'm gonna change that name to deliveries screen. And now over here this is going to be deliveries view model. Okay, we don't have that view model, so we'll just create it. And now let's just get over here inside this home, create that Kotlin class, change it to deliveries view model class. This is going to be health view model. And now over here we'll say at inject constructor. And we know that we need, what we need is that we need over here is that we will be using food API for this case. And now from over here we also have some seal classes that we'll use, for example, for events. So we'll say deliveries state. You have loading state, success state, and error state. This is fine. And you also have a sealed class delivery events, which is again go to the details of the deliveries. And now from over here we'll basically define that as some a state flow for that. So we'll say wall delivery states, that is going to be mutable state flow. I think the rest should be fine. And as state flow, the next thing would be to have a private wall underscore deliveries event is equals to mutable shared flow of deliveries event. And then in for that we'll say as shared flow. Now we need to create that function that says get deliveries. Now over here you see that we set it to loading first, and from the loading, instead what we will do is that let's just do something as view models scope view model. Okay, we need to extend it from the view model as well. That is important as well, so make sure to do that. Now we'll say view model scope dot launch, and we'll set that up as loading over here. Now for this we don't need that. Instead we'll say safe API call food API dot get available deliveries. And now from there we don't need this. Instead we'll say when. And from response, let's just do something as API response. This is again same thing that we did. I think instead this is going to be error, and the last one is going to be as this. Okay, so now we have something like this, where in case of success we are setting the data that we receive from the backend. And that's pretty much what we should do. In this case we'll say get deliveries, and do it like this. Okay. And now let's just go to our screen implementation. We have this red background, we don't need that, so we'll just get rid of that. We can do a couple of more things, but I think let's just, for now, let's just keep it this way. Okay, now over here, what we need to do is that we need to define a text, the title. So we'll say deliveries color black. Maybe we can set up a modifier modifier dot fill max width, and we can also say text align as center. Okay, that's one thing. The second thing would be to create a UI state for that. So I'm gonna say UI state is equals to home view model dot delivery state dot collect as state. Okay, and now over here we'll basically set those things. Over here for loading, we have a loading state, so let's just not worry about that. For deliveries, for error case, we have a error screen as well, that we have created, which is thankfully, I would say, helping us a lot. Now over here we don't need this. Instead, we'll just get rid of this and we'll create a lazy column for this. And now in lazy columns, we'll set it as list. We'll say items, or sorry, state dot deliveries, where this delivery means is this is something that we will be using. And what do we need to do? I think we need to do a couple of things for this, so I'm just going to create a column for this, and that column should be a little bit designed. So we have a film expert, we need to set up a background for that. We also can add a shadow for like 4 dp. I think that should be enough. We can also clip as round corner shape for 8.dp. That is also something. And before doing anything, we can also add some padding for, at least for horizontally it should be 16.dp. Vertical it can be 4.dp, so that I think we can have some spacing by that. What else we can have? Yeah, I think that should be fine. Now, inside that, we need a couple of things for this. So the first thing would be to show the address for the user, and then that's basically going to be the color for that should be black, and style should also be something as title medium. Okay, that's something that we'll do for this. Second thing is going to be delivery dot uh, maybe estimated, sorry, restaurant address. I think that should also be as something like this. Then we will be using, the next thing is going to be the order ID. We can set it as gray, and we also need to define it as body medium. Then we will be using another text for this time. This is going to be delivery dot estimated distance, comma. Okay, I think this is in double, so we can do something as dollar sign this kilometers. Next, you can define that earning as well. So I think we have string utils, if I'm not wrong. Format currency, that is going to be delivery dot order amount, or at least you can say earning, estimated earning from that specific order delivery. And you can define that as green. Okay, I think that should be enough for this. And now let's see how it looks when we run this. Hopefully, the main activity has managed it. So we can get rid of that. This deliveries, and we should say something as hill view model. I think we are good now. Let's just run the code and now see if everything is working as expected. My rider app is ready. We can see, okay, there is something wrong. The what we are trying to access is failing. Okay, I know why it's failing. The food API, as I mentioned, in when we're trying to access it from from the postman, we were missing that riders prefix for that. So let's just add that back and try to run this. This time, hopefully, we will be able to get that data over here in the screen, and from there we'll take it. Okay, so now this is basically something that we have right now. Let's just slightly fix the UI that we have. There's still some room for improvement, and I think the reason it looks like that is where it. Yeah, we are over here. You can see that this shadow is 4. We can make it 8. And when everything is applied, we'll also add some padding for each side so that it leaves some spaces internally as well. And will this load the hotfix? I'm not sure if it will load, but we can just rerun this code. Okay, now now you can see that it's looking much better. We have some spacing from each side as well. The shadow is still not up to the mark. It could be because of that. Now you can see that it's looking much better. We have a proper cars. The elevation is quite high. So let's just slightly lower the elevation. Also, I would like to set that shape internally as well so that the shadows also adjust accordingly. And now you can see that it's looking much better. So yeah, that's pretty much what we did. And now the next thing would be to have some sort of mechanism from where user can accept or reject the orders. So once user select that, we'll set up the rest of the stuff. Now let's just start working on that, having those two buttons inside that. So for that, what I'm gonna do is maybe we can inside that over here we can create a raw. Okay. Now this raw is going to be having two different section. For example, it should have a button on click, and this should say accept. The other one should say decline. Okay. And let's just say view model, or let's say home view model dot delivery accepted, and the other one should say delivery rejected. Now we don't have these two functionalities in the view model. So let's just get over here into this view model sections and do that. So we'll say function, let's delivery accepted. And the other one is going to be function delivery rejected, which will basically reject that delivery for us. And we will also be, I think that should be, we should be fine here. One more thing that I think we should be doing, and that would be to keep a list of deliveries. So I will say wall deliveries, mutable state flow of deliveries list response equals to null. It should be null like this. Okay, sorry about that. It should be something like this. Okay. Now, once we have this data over here, we can set that as deliveries dot value is equals to response dot data, so that we can have that once we do that. Now, over here you can see when we accept or reject a specific delivery, what we will do is that we'll first we need to emit that data. So we'll say underscore delivery state dot value is equals to loading. We want to keep that system to load, and the rest thing would be to basically accept delivery or reject delivery based on the status, right? So for that, again, we need a couple of things. First thing is that we need a post functionality, and we need to go over here into the backend again, and you can see from over here this is basically something along with the parent rider. So slash rider slash delivery slash order id slash accept would be for accepting the request, and the other one is going to be for, there should be one for reject as well, and yeah, this one is for reject. So we need to do that, right? So we'll just copy that, go back to the Android Studio, and rider slash deliveries slash order id slash reject. And now from over here we'll basically do something as reject. We'll be using that generic message for that, and we are going to do the same thing for this as well, which is for accepting. Now we have these two functionality. We'll go back to our order id, and from over here we'll say delivery dot order id, which is it going to be the order id, right? Yeah, this is going to be the order id for that rider. So this is going to be accepted. For accepted, it will accept it. For rejected, it can be rejected. Now this is pretty much, I think. Now over here, for the this section, we don't need this the error cases as at least. Instead, what we'll do over here is that we'll reset the deliveries data over there, and also when you accept it, we would be basically saying get deliveries, so that the new data is basically loaded. In case of error, we're setting back everything the way it was, and we are going to do the same thing for this side as well. Now over here inside this event, we'll say object show, sorry, it should not be object, that should be data class show error. And now we will be using that for showing some sort of messages or error for that. So I'm going to say underscore event dot emit an error occurred, and I think that should be fine. Or if you want, you can also use the error service as well, which will basically do the at least pretty much same thing, but the message would be the one that comes from the backend. And again, the same thing is going to be done for the delivery rejected section as well. So all I need to do is that I'm going to copy everything that we have over here, paste it inside that, and the only thing that is different for this specific section is reject delivery. The rest is same, and since everything is same, you can say function, um let's call it private function update delivery, uh or let's call it process delivery state update. Okay, and it should say a generic message response to us. Okay, and I think this should be enough. We'll say process, we're gonna pass that, change the parameters to an API response, paste it over here, call that as response. And we also need to make sure that this is basically a suspend function. So once it's done, it should be look something like this, and this is how basically it should be handled. We are gonna do the same thing over here as well for this response as well. Now this way it's going to be like reusing most of the stuff. We can still do a lot with the reusability, but I think for now it should be fine. And now we go back to our details screen. There are some errors. Let's see what is this error. Yeah, we need to define the delivery like ID, or at least, or is it just the delivery that it requires? Okay, yeah, it requires the delivery as a complete object, and we are gonna do that same thing for this as well. And let's see what happens. Now let's just run the code once again, and hopefully when this time I do that, like if I accept or decline anything, this specific item should get removed from the list and it should not be available for other people. Okay, the app just ran. Let's click accept for this one. When I click accept, it should get away. Let's see if there was something. Okay, it says fail to accept the delivery request. Maybe there is something with the backend. Okay, so there was some issue with our backend, so I've just fixed that. And now let's just try once again by accepting our delivery. So when I click on accept, hopefully this time should work. Okay, for some reason it failed. So yeah, there was again something wrong with my backend. I'm really sorry about that. It's a work in progress thing, so we basically like I basically end up in these kind of situation more often. But hopefully this time, once we run this, yeah, the server is now running, and let's just retry. Now you can see when I accepted, that specific deliveries count become 2, while it was 1 in that case, like 3 previously. Now let's just do this one again. When this time I again click on that, you can see that now again that other one is also accepted. And you can also see that for my restaurant app, I'm also getting these notification. You can see the rider has been assigned to pick up your order, and so basically the notification are also working as expected. So I think, so yeah, that was pretty much it for this video. I think in the next video what we'll do is that we'll set up our notifications where we can see proper notification for the rider app, and we'll also be tracking the orders that basically the user, like basically when user accept that, we would want that user to see those orders in their list, and then from there they can basically start delivering those, and start working with that, and maybe pushing those location based stuff as well. That's something that we'll do in this later stage. So thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you liked it. I'll see you in the next video. So till then, happy coding. Bye.
I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please like the video, comment down below and share the video with your friends. For similar content, you can subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, and if you have any queries, you can join my Discord server where we discuss different kind of things. So thank you so much for watching the video. Have a great day. Bye.